Welcome back, listeners. My name is Larry Colvig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Haven Financial Group radio show, and we appreciate that. Every week, Kim and I talk about crucial retirement decision, financial topics, things we like to talk about, things we don't like to talk about, that can really make the difference between surviving retirement and thriving through it, which is so important. So if you're young, middle-aged, or anything in between, or on the cusp of retirement, feel free to give us a call at 612-504-8400 or visit us online at havenfinancialgroup.com. We're very blessed to have our 10-year anniversary this year, Kim. I can't believe it's been 10 years, but we know how time flies. That's for sure.
That is for certain. And congratulations to everyone there at Haven Financial Group. We've been talking, about retirement as we do each week, but we've sort of been tailoring this toward our Gen X listeners. That's the folks who were born between 1965 and 1980. So our oldest Gen Xers are turning 60 this year, and our younger ones are about 45 years old. This is a time period between 45 and 60 that you need to be really considering what your retirement options are. By the time you hit 60, we hope that you've been considering it since you were 45. So one of the things that we've pointed out throughout the course of this show today is that the Gen Xers' retirement is different than their parents, and their parents, a lot of them, are baby boomers who had pensions and maybe retired at different ages. I think our Gen Xers are probably going to work longer. They don't necessarily have the same kind of benefits that their parents did. So we've talked our way through some of those changes and some of those differences. But what else do you think makes their retirement unique?
Kim, I know we're talking more towards the Gen Xers today, but really it always comes back to having a fundamental comprehensive plan, no matter what generation you are. Yeah. And when I say a comprehensive plan, we walk people through the same process, every single person that comes through our door. And when I say comprehensive, we need to have a budget that's accurate. We need to factor in our planning, lifestyle and spending patterns. What are you really spending? Accounting for inflationary measures, which have impacted people's budgets the last several years more than ever. Purchasing power of the dollar is not what it was. We want to factor that into the equation. Coming up with adequate and accurate expenses, as we talked before, making sure that we budget properly for healthcare, which people underestimate over and over again. And they go, oh, my goodness, we didn't know it was going to cost $1,000 to $1,500 a month. And it can. It definitely can. So coming up with an accurate budget, which I know budget's kind of a four-letter word for a lot of people, young or old, but it's important. And then looking beyond just, the typical 401ks and IRAs, right. What other measures are out there? What other investment vehicles? Not forgetting about HSAs, health savings accounts. My goodness sakes, if you have access to that or can be putting in, we like those even more so than Roths, pretty much, because tax-free going in, tax-free going out. If you're able to put that in for medical expenses in the future, you're going to go, wow, I'm glad I did that. So looking at all the various things that are out there, creating pension-like type of accounts that can give you the guaranteed income that you need for sure. Number one, that you want, but the dollars that you need in retirement, mailbox money. So very, very important. And in the Haven experience, that's what we walk people through, looking under every rock, talking through every different thing that possibly can happen, because life happens whether we like it or not. Right. Life's calendar doesn't cooperate with our calendar. So no matter what age you are, whether you have a little bit, sometimes people get embarrassed. No reason to get embarrassed. Some people think, well, I just am not worth really visiting with because I don't have enough. That is really silly talk. I don't care what you have, your family situation, big, small, anything indifferent. You owe it to yourself to have some sort of conversation with somebody to talk through these important topics and decisions.
Another thing that I really want to remind people who are listening, You aren't experts on retirement. I mean, maybe some of you certainly have a great grasp on it, but the folks at Haven are. You guys stay on top of all of, Larry, all these deadlines and these changes in ages. And, I mean, we just heard from Isabella, if you don't have your Part D, then you're going to be paying a penalty. I mean, these are the kinds of deadlines and the kinds of things that if you partner with the folks at Haven Financial Group, you'll stay on top of those. You'll always be informed.
Staying informed is the real deal. I mean, and if you don't have a partner that's keeping you informed, and I say that because our current clients are invited to all of our classes. It's not just new people that we come in contact with, although we help a lot of new people, but our current clients, we're going to keep them informed. Tax laws change, healthcare things change, rules change. We're in an ever-changing world. You need to stay abreast on these changes. Otherwise, you just get lost in the times. So we're committed to that at Haven Financial Group. We always have been. We always will be looking at the various options because so many times people miss opportunities because they don't tax plan. They don't know that there's other things out there because nobody told them.
Sure.
And that's why the education piece, I've heard it many times, education is the potential for power. It's what you do with it that really matters. It's why our classes are well attended. It's why we teach a lot of classes. We all have families, and I always say, and people say, well, don't you have anything better to do than teach classes? Well, it's what our commitment is. It's how we meet a lot of people. Yes, my wife and I have 4 daughters spread out all over the place, and we have a life as well, but we take pride in knowing that we're offering the information that a lot of people are not getting. That does not come with additional costs, because I, as well as anybody else, am very well aware that there's a lot of expensive things out there. There's a lot of costs, and many people don't know what they're paying, and they're getting little to nothing.
Sure.
And I call that's just a waste of time, a waste of money, and you deserve more than that. And that's our commitment with our partnership is, if we're not doing what we're supposed to, it's a free world and you can go anywhere else you want to.
Right. One of the other things that we talked about that I think is really unique about our Gen Xers is this being the sandwich generation. Gen Xers got married later. Their children are a little bit younger than maybe the generation before them. So they're raising their kids a little bit later in their lives, and their parents are living longer. And so they're in the middle supporting a whole lot of people. So this is something, too, that people need help with. And Larry, I know you guys are very sympathetic to that idea of being the sandwich generation and also work very closely with a lot of these folks.
Oh, it's so true. It's real. This generation it's very unique to the idea that now they are taking care of parents who may have outlived their financial security or depleted their savings, and they got that burden, and then they have supporting children or younger kids at the same time, and that can weigh on their finances, with their college education. And certainly we're aware of these things. We want to factor them in, and it's very real and it's very serious. I do see that oftentimes people enabling their adult children and at the expense of their own retirement, and it's really, really sad. I'm all about family, and taking care of family, but at the same time, when I see 40-year-old kids in the basement and they're still on mom and dad's payroll, I have to shake my head and go, is that really what you should be doing at this stage? Eventually, they have to get their wings, and at 40, 45 years old, I think it's probably about time. I'm not trying to be insensitive because we're very sensitive, but it's a real task on people's, this generation's finances. And we want to factor that in and certainly be aware of it because it truly is real.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that is a sandwich generation. There's no two ways about it. Finally, what do you hope today, Larry? Same thing we asked Isabella a little bit earlier. What do you hope as people walk away from this show, which I think has been unique and really special? What do you hope they take away?
Well, we say it every week. The time is of the essence. Having a plan, and a retirement plan is much more than it would be when you're 20, 30, and 40. It's all the retirement puzzle pieces that every week you and I talk about, the coordination of all of these pieces, from the insurance to the estate plan. And by the way, go to our website, Carrie, our estate planning and attorney, and I will be teaching this week and next week a class, wills, trusts, and legacy planning. Great class, well attended. All of these topics go together. From taxes, we're at the tail end of tax season. That doesn't mean we stop tax planning. We should be starting planning for the next year. And then the insurance, all these things should go together. Right. Do you have all the puzzle pieces? They should be coordinated. They should work together. Now, they don't have to be under the same roof. It is the goal 10 years ago when I started the company that we had everybody under the same roof. And I can tell you that's the biggest compliment at Haven Financial Group we get is, wow, it's so nice that I can talk insurance, estate planning, investments, Medicare, all of these things. That was the goal. And it's come to fruition, and it continues to come to fruition. And we're very thankful for that. But if these are all areas where you don't think you're getting the attention, you don't know what you're paying, we believe retirement is more than a meeting once or twice a year for 45 minutes to an hour. You deserve the attention. You owe it to yourself. You have nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. So I encourage you to call us whenever you want to. There'll never be any pressure here. We're very laid back. We want to be comfortable. I always say if it doesn't feel right, it's not the right place. Yeah. If we are the right place, we'd be honored to help you. So again, feel free to give us a call. We truly would enjoy it.
You bet. If you're looking for a partner to put together the retirement that you're dreaming of, the number is 612-504-8400, 612-504-8400, havenfinancialgroup.com. Larry, it's been another great show.
Thanks, Kim. Always great, and look forward to next week already.